I was sipping my coffee, the morning sun spilling over the balcony, when Alex's text buzzed. Can't wait to see you tonight. Dinner's on me. I smiled, heart fluttering. Sometimes I wondered if anyone else could make me feel this alive. Another fancy dinner? Olivia's voice came through my speaker.
Yeah.
He loves surprising me. I rolled my eyes playfully. But it's sweet, isn't it? Olivia chuckled. Sweet, sure. But remember last week, when he canceled our brunch at the last minute? I waved off her concern. He had a work emergency. You worry too much. Maybe, she said softly. I just don't want you to get hurt. You've been blinded, Bella. I laughed, shaking my head. Blinded? Liv, I'm in love. He's different. You'll see. I thought about the way Alex laughed, the tilt of his head, the spark in his eyes when he teased me. He could charm anyone, but somehow, he chose me. That made everything feel magical. Later that day, I found him waiting at the little cafe we loved, coffee in hand, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. You look gorgeous, he said, pulling me into a hug. I rolled my eyes. You say that every time. But I mean it every time, he replied, brushing a strand of hair from my face. I leaned against him, savoring the warmth. So, what's the surprise this time? He smirked. You'll see. Just trust me. I laughed. Trust you? That's easy. You're unpredictable. You know that. Only in the best ways, he said, eyes glinting. Olivia's words echoed faintly in my mind, but I pushed them aside. I didn't need warnings when everything felt this perfect. As we walked to the restaurant, Alex held my hand, fingers interlacing naturally with mine. People passed, some smiling, some glancing with curiosity. I felt proud to be with him, as if everyone could see the magic I saw. Hey, he whispered, bending close. You know, I've been thinking, maybe it's time we talk about the future. My stomach fluttered. The future? He nodded.
Yeah.
I mean us. Moving in, plans, dreams together. I blinked, heart racing. I love that idea. More than anything. He grinned. Good. Because I can't imagine my life without you, Bella. I felt a rush of happiness, so intense it nearly made me dizzy. This was it, the life I'd dreamed of. Everything felt right, perfect even. Little did I know perfection was only an illusion. But I didn't think about that now. Not today. Today I had Alex. And that was enough. Alex didn't answer my call that morning. I tried not to panic, but when he ignored my texts too, my chest tightened. Maybe he's busy, I whispered to myself, pacing the apartment. Busy? Bella, he's ignoring you, Olivia said, voice sharp over the speaker. Something's off. I can feel it. I know, but maybe he has a meeting, I insisted, though doubt crept in. Or maybe he's lying, Olivia said, her words like a cold splash of water. You need to pay attention. I sighed, running my fingers through my hair. You're making me paranoid. No, I'm trying to protect you. Just don't ignore your instincts, okay? Later that evening, he showed up at my door, a casual smile plastered on his face. Hey, sorry I'm late. You're always late, I said, crossing my arms. And you didn't answer my calls. I was busy. You know work, he said, glancing away. I frowned. Busy? At this hour? He laughed nervously. It was a long day. I just wanted to see you now. I don't know, Alex. Something feels different, I admitted, my voice trembling. He stepped closer. Different? Bella, come on. I'm right here. But I noticed the phone in his pocket vibrating. He checked it quickly, almost too quickly. Who's that? I asked. My heart thudded. Just a friend, he muttered, slipping the phone into his jacket. I studied him. The warmth I usually felt replaced by a cold suspicion. A friend who texts like that? He shrugged, avoiding my gaze. It's nothing. Don't worry. I didn't reply. Silence filled the room, heavier than any words. Later, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. You're not the only one who thinks he's amazing. I froze. My mind raced. Olivia's warnings came back, louder now. Liv. I got a text. I whispered, reading it aloud.
See?
Something's happening. I told you, she said firmly. You need to be careful. I know, but I don't want to believe it, I admitted. Belief doesn't matter if it's real, Bella. Trust your gut. I sank onto the couch, feeling the first sharp pangs of doubt. Could Alex really betray me? Could the perfect man I loved so deeply be hiding something this big? Maybe I'm overthinking, I muttered, but my hands shook as I typed another message to him. Alex, can we talk? Alone. He replied almost instantly. Of course. Come over. As I left my apartment, my stomach twisted. I wanted to believe him, but a small, insistent voice inside me whispered that paradise was already cracking. And I wasn't sure how far the cracks would go. I thought tonight would be like any other. Alex's warm smile, our laughter echoing over dinner. I didn't know my world was about to shatter. I parked outside the little cafe, where he said he'd meet me. He wasn't alone. There they were, Alex and Sophia. My stomach dropped. Alex's hand rested on her shoulder, her laugh brighter than mine had ever felt in his presence. I froze, unable to move. Bella, a voice said behind me. I turned. Carla, standing with that smug expression I hated. Oh, I didn't see you there, she said, feigning innocence. Funny, isn't it? I felt my chest tighten. What are you doing here? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Carla smirked. Just watching the world turn. You know, some people don't deserve happy endings. I wanted to scream, to rip her smug little face off. Alex, my voice cracked as I stepped toward him. He looked at me, then at Sophia, and I felt it, the casual cruelty in his gaze. Bella, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? I echoed, laughter strangled by tears. Alex, your hand is on her shoulder. You're laughing like I don't exist anymore. Sophia froze, startled by my voice, then smiled faintly, smug, as if she'd won some secret prize. Bella, Alex began, taking a step forward. I didn't mean. Don't. Just don't. I shook my head, anger and heartbreak mingling. I can't believe I trusted you. I can't believe you. Carla stepped closer, her tone venomous. See? I told you, Bella. He always belonged elsewhere. I clenched my fists. Why would you do this? Why would you let her? He's made his choice, Carla said softly, eyes glinting. You should have seen it coming. I couldn't breathe. My hands shook as I backed away.
So, this is it?
After everything, you just choose her? Alex's gaze flickered. Guilty maybe, but too late.
I'm sorry.
I thought what? That you could break me and I'd stay. I spat the words, venom mixing with tears. Sophia finally spoke, soft but mocking. It's not my fault. He chose me. No, I whispered, staring at him, feeling a cold emptiness seep in. It's yours. All of it. Every lie, every promise gone. Carla chuckled. Better get used to the truth, Bella. The world isn't fair. I swallowed hard, trying to hold myself together. My mind raced, replaying every moment, every word he said. How could I have been so blind? How could I have trusted him so completely? I turned to leave, but my legs felt like lead. Alex, my voice was hollow, trembling. I loved you, and this is how you repay me. He said nothing, just stood there, frozen, as if my pain was invisible. I didn't look back. My tears blurred the streetlights as I walked away, each step heavier than the last. My heart ached, my trust shattered, and a part of me died in that moment. But even in the devastation, a quiet spark flickered inside me. I didn't know how yet, but I would rise from this. Somehow I didn't answer Olivia's calls for hours. I couldn't. My apartment felt smaller, darker, and the walls seemed to close in with every heartbeat. Bella, are you there? Olivia's voice came through my speaker, worried. I just need some time, I whispered, staring at the ceiling. You've been saying that for hours. Bella, you can't just shut yourself away. I can't face anyone, Liv. Not today. My voice trembled. Not after what Alex did, what Carla allowed. You're stronger than this, she said softly. I know it hurts, but shutting down won't help you. Stand up for yourself. You deserve better. I don't feel strong, I admitted. I feel broken. Completely useless. The words hurt even as I said them. Maggie's voice echoed in my head, criticizing me for being soft, for trusting someone who didn't deserve it. Bella, Olivia's tone snapped me back. I don't know how to move on, I said, swallowing hard. You start by not giving them your power, she replied. Alex already chose. You choose now. Choose you. I nodded silently, though it felt impossible. My heart ached, every thought tangled with betrayal, anger, and despair. A soft knock came at my door. Bella? It's Ethan, a gentle voice said. I hesitated, then opened it. Ethan, a colleague who had always respected me, offered a small smile. Hey, I heard about what happened. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm not, I whispered. I know, he said. I can't fix it, but I can listen if you want. I stepped aside, letting him in. Thanks, I murmured, feeling the weight in my chest lighten just a little. We sat in silence for a while, only the ticking clock filling the room. Finally, he spoke. You know, pain like this, it doesn't last forever. But you have to fight it. You have to fight for yourself. I shook my head. It's not fair, Ethan. I gave him everything. Every part of me. And he just threw it away. I know, he said softly. But that doesn't define you. You're not your heartbreak. You're Bella. And Bella deserves better than someone who hurts her like that. I looked at him, feeling a spark of hope I hadn't felt since that night. Maybe Olivia was right. Maybe I could stand up, even if it was just a little at a time. I think I need to start thinking about myself, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. That's the first step, Ethan said, nodding. You'll get there, one step at a time. I exhaled slowly, feeling the heaviness in my chest shift just slightly. For the first time since Alex left, I thought about tomorrow, not about him, not about Carla, not about Sophia, but about me. And maybe, just maybe, I could start to find myself again. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, feeling a strange mix of anger and determination. I couldn't let Alex define me anymore. Not him. Not Sophia. Not Carla. Bella, you sound like a warrior, Olivia said, her voice bright over the phone. I don't feel like one, I muttered, brushing a stray strand of hair behind my ear. I can't stay broken. You won't, Olivia said firmly. You're smarter than this. Stronger. You just need a plan. I need a plan, I echoed, thinking of Alex laughing with Sophia. My chest tightened, but this time it was sharper, colder, a fuel I could use. A few days later, I met Daniel Brooks at a quiet cafe. He was calm, composed, with a presence that immediately made me feel both nervous and safe. Bella, he said, extending his hand. I hear you've been through something intense. I hesitated, then shook it. You could say that. I can help, he said simply. But you have to be willing to take control. Emotionally, professionally, everything. I want to, I admitted, eyes locking with his. I can't let him break me. I need to rise above. Daniel nodded. Good. First, we focus on clarity. Understand what you want. Not revenge in its rawest form, but strategy. Use your pain as fuel. I frowned. Strategy, not just emotion? Exactly, he said. Emotion is fire. Strategy is direction. You combine both, and you become unstoppable. I exhaled slowly. I think I can do that. I have to. Start small, he advised. Rebuild your career. Strengthen your relationships. Show your resilience. The rest follows naturally. I will, I said, feeling a spark of something I hadn't felt in weeks, control. Later, I called Olivia. I met someone today, I said quietly. Daniel, she guessed. Yes, I admitted. He He helps me see a way out of this darkness. A way to be better. To rise. That's amazing, Bella. You've got this. Just remember, no shortcuts. Play smart. I know, I replied, heart pounding. I'm done reacting blindly. I'll plan. I'll rebuild. I'll make him see that leaving me was his biggest mistake. Olivia laughed softly. That's the spirit. And trust me, Alex won't know what hit him. I hung up, feeling my pulse steady. I opened my laptop and started drafting ideas, projects, career moves, networking strategies. Every line, every plan was a step away from heartbreak and a step toward power. I will rise, I whispered, leaning back in my chair. Not for revenge alone, but to prove I am more than his betrayal. More than anyone's manipulation. The fire inside me grew, steady now, burning clear. I could hear Alex's laughter in my memory, but it no longer had the power to crush me. I would turn it into motivation instead. Every setback, every tear, every insult, they would fuel me. Quietly.
Strategically.
Relentlessly. I wasn't weak anymore. I wasn't broken. I was plotting. And when the time came, Alex would see the woman I had always been beneath his lies. The woman who would rise higher than he ever imagined, and I never thought work could feel like salvation, but lately it had. I was pouring myself into projects, emails, and meetings, channeling my anger into focus. Bella, can I see you for a minute? Victoria Lane's voice cut through my concentration. I looked up, raising an eyebrow. What is it, Victoria? She smiled tightly, not friendly at all. I just wanted to make sure you understand the new deadlines. Wouldn't want you falling behind. I laughed softly, hiding the edge in my voice. Thanks, Victoria. I think I've got it covered. I always meet deadlines. Her eyes narrowed slightly. We'll see. She walked away, but I felt the challenge. I knew she wanted to see me stumble. Later, Olivia called. How's the battlefield? She teased. I grinned. Victoria tried to undermine me today. I turned her little scheme into a presentation highlight. She didn't see it coming.
See?
You're turning your pain into power, Olivia said. I never thought I could feel this in control, I admitted. After Alex, I wondered if I'd ever have that again. But I do, step by step. During lunch, Ethan appeared at my desk with a stack of reports. Thought you could use a hand. Thanks, I said genuinely. It's nice not to feel so alone at work anymore. You're not, he replied softly. I'm here, and I think you're doing amazing. I smiled, feeling warmth spread in my chest. His support was steady, quiet, and it made me feel capable. Later that week, I overheard a conversation between two colleagues. Did you hear? Bella's project exceeded expectations. She's really proving herself. My stomach tightened. Alex's name flickered in my mind. I doubted he'd even know, but somewhere, somehow, he would hear. And maybe the idea of me thriving would sting. I leaned back, taking a deep breath. Good, I whispered to myself. Let him see. Let everyone see. I'm not broken. I'm rising. Victoria returned that afternoon, clearly irritated. I don't understand how you keep pulling this off, she muttered. I tilted my head, calm and collected. Maybe I just work smarter. Or maybe I've learned how to turn challenges into opportunities. Her face tightened, a silent acknowledgement of defeat. I let her struggle in silence, feeling the first real satisfaction since everything. That evening, Daniel Brooks sent a message. Progress looks good. Your focus is impressive. Keep going. I typed back quickly. Thank you. I'm finally learning to channel my anger into something productive. Olivia texted immediately. Finally. Bella, you're unstoppable now. I smiled at the screen, thinking about how far I'd come. Alex's betrayal had been brutal, almost unbearable, but it forced me to confront my weaknesses and transform them into strengths. I wasn't the same girl who had cried in the cafe, trembling at the sight of Alex and Sophia. I was sharper, smarter, and stronger. Every small victory was a brick in the foundation of the woman I was becoming. And with each brick, I felt lighter, freer, more alive. I exhaled slowly, savoring the moment. Rising from the ashes didn't happen overnight, but I could see it now. Every challenge, every betrayal, every setback had shaped me. And this was only the beginning. I was at a cafe, laptop open, pretending to focus on work when I heard a familiar name from the table behind me. Alex, you can't just dump this project on me, a voice complained. I turned slightly. Sophia. And Alex, looking flustered, defensive, completely unlike the man I once knew. Come on, it's not that bad, he replied, irritation evident. I felt a flicker of something strange, satisfaction mixed with sadness. Olivia's voice popped into my mind. Karma has a way of balancing itself. I sipped my coffee, observing quietly. Sophia's smirk didn't reach her eyes. You always think you're untouchable. Maybe now you'll see what it's like when someone doesn't bend for you. Alex opened his mouth, clearly unsure how to respond. I remembered the way he laughed when he left me, how easily he thought he could manipulate everyone. Bella, Olivia's voice rang softly in my memory. Don't let this feel like revenge. It's just natural consequences. I nodded to myself. She was right. I didn't need to interfere. Watching him stumble was enough. Later, I heard murmurs around the office. Alex had pushed a new initiative that backfired, costing him credibility. I resisted the urge to smirk outright. Ethan noticed my distraction. Everything okay? He asked, tilting his head. Yeah, I murmured. Just observing. Sometimes people get what they deserve without me doing anything. He raised an eyebrow. I'd call that poetic justice. I smiled faintly. Maybe, but it's complicated. I don't want to celebrate his failures. It still stings, the memory of what he did to me. You're allowed to feel that, Ethan said. It doesn't make you weak. I know, I replied. I never imagined that seeing him like this would feel both relieving and heavy at the same time. As the week progressed, I continued to hear snippets. Sophia had been caught lying to clients, Alex's arrogance had alienated his colleagues, and his reputation was quietly crumbling. I felt the tug of something deeper, a recognition that karma isn't about pleasure, it's about truth. Life has a way of balancing itself, and I could finally see it unfold. I thought back to my own journey, the heartbreak, the isolation, the late nights plotting my comeback. All of it had led me here, to this quiet understanding. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't vengeful. I was wiser. Olivia's words returned. You're rising, Bella. Let the world do its part. I closed my laptop, letting the noise of the cafe wash over me. Watching Alex falter wasn't happiness, it was clarity. A reminder that choices have consequences, and arrogance often meets reality sooner or later. And me? I was free from the chains of his lies. Free to focus on growth, on life, on the woman I had become. I smiled softly to myself, a mix of melancholy and pride. Karma wasn't mine to enforce, it was simply unfolding. And I was strong enough to witness it without losing myself. For the first time in months, I felt at peace. Ethan knocked lightly on my office door before stepping in. Hey, got a minute? Sure, I said, smiling faintly. What's up? I thought we could tackle this project together, he said, holding a folder. 2 heads are better than 1, right? I raised an eyebrow. You want to pair up with me? After everything? He chuckled softly. After everything, yes. I think we make a good team. I nodded, feeling warmth spread in my chest.
All right.
Let's do it. We spread the files across the table, brainstorming ideas. Ethan listened patiently to my suggestions, adding insights that made sense without overshadowing my voice. Bella, that angle you proposed, it's brilliant, he said. Have you considered including these statistics to strengthen it? I leaned closer, reviewing the charts. That's perfect.
I didn't think of that.
You always think of the details. I handle the big picture, he said, smiling. Balance. I laughed softly. Sounds like a plan. Hours passed in focused collaboration. We argued occasionally, debated strategy, and refined our approach. But it never felt tense, just productive. Ethan's presence was calming, encouraging, without ever feeling intrusive. During a break, I asked, "Do you think I'm doing okay? I mean, after everything with Alex?" He met my eyes. "You're doing more than okay. You're thriving. I see it every day. And it's inspiring."
I felt my cheeks flush.
"Thriving, it's hard to see it myself sometimes." "You should," he said softly. "You've been through hell, and here you are, stronger and smarter. Anyone would admire that." We returned to work, side by side, and I felt a sense of ease I hadn't known in months. Collaboration became natural, laughter sprinkled between brainstorming sessions. It was comforting, healing. A few days later, I overheard someone mention Alex in passing. "I heard Bella's project is exceeding expectations. Seems she's moving fast after the breakup." I felt a flicker. Anger? Satisfaction? Hard to tell, but mostly I felt calm. I wasn't reacting to him anymore. I was simply observing. Olivia's voice buzzed in my mind. "Keep your focus, Bella. This isn't about him, it's about you." I nodded to myself, returning to Ethan. "I think we've got a solid strategy now," I said. He smiled. "Absolutely. Your ideas are sharp, Bella. You've got the vision, and I'll support it however I can." "You always do," I said quietly, grateful. His reliability made me trust again, not in someone who betrayed me, but in someone who genuinely respected me. That evening, we wrapped up, reviewing the final draft together. "Looks amazing," Ethan said. "I'm proud of what we accomplished." "I am too," I admitted, leaning back in my chair. "Feels good to create something meaningful again." He hesitated, then asked softly, "Do you want to grab coffee tomorrow? Outside the office?" I looked at him, feeling something tender stir. "I'd like that," I said. As I packed my things, I thought of Alex, likely hearing about my successes through the grapevine. The idea didn't sting. It didn't hurt. Instead, I felt empowered. I was thriving, independent, and slowly, a new chapter was beginning. Ethan's quiet support, his steady presence, and our shared work reminded me that life could move forward. Betrayal hadn't destroyed me. It had redirected me. To strength, to clarity, and perhaps to something unexpected. I left the office that night with a small smile, a sense of accomplishment, and a spark of hope that felt safe for the first time in months. My phone buzzed. A text from Alex. "Can we talk? I made a mistake. I want to fix things." I stared at it, heart skipping, then tightening. Olivia's voice rang in my head. "Remember who you are now, Bella. Don't let him drag you back." I hesitated, fingers hovering over the screen. Call him or ignore him. When I didn't reply immediately, another message came. "Please. I've realized what I lost. You were everything." I closed my eyes, recalling the cafe, the betrayal, the tears, everything I gave him, and he threw it away. I couldn't forget. Later that evening, there he was, appearing at my office building lobby. "Bella, wait," he called, breathless. I turned, arms crossed, masking the flutter in my chest. "Alex, I messed up. I never should have left you," he said, voice earnest. "Sophia, she wasn't right for me. I see that now." I laughed, a short, bitter sound. "You think words erase months of betrayal? Do you think apologies undo heartbreak?" He stepped closer. "I want to make it right. I've changed." "I don't think you understand," I said firmly. "It's not about change. It's about trust, and you shattered that. You can't just walk back in." Alex's face fell. "Bella, I still love you. Please, just give me a chance." I shook my head, trying to block the memories of laughter that wasn't mine anymore. Love doesn't hurt this badly, and expect forgiveness so easily. You had your chance. "But we can start over," he insisted. "I've learned. I don't need your lessons anymore." I cut in. "You taught me enough about who you are and what I deserve," he faltered, and for a moment I almost felt pity. But Olivia's words echoed louder. "Don't let old habits ruin your growth." "Alex," I continued, voice steady now, stronger than it had been in months, "I am not the girl you left. I have rebuilt myself. I have learned to stand without you. I don't need to start over with someone who broke me." His eyes glistened, but I didn't waver. I see, he whispered, voice low. You should, I said, because I am moving forward, and there's no room for the past here anymore. He swallowed hard, finally nodding, and the weight in my chest lifted slightly. The pull, the temptation to forgive, had passed. I exhaled, feeling the power of my own choice. Independence wasn't just about work or strength, it was about saying no to what would harm me, even if it once felt like love. I hope you find your path, Alex, I said quietly. But I won't be part of it. He nodded, silent now, understanding at last. As I walked away, the city lights blurred around me, and I felt a calm I hadn't known in months. I was whole. I was free. I was finally mine, and I was sipping coffee at my favorite cafe when the news reached me. A colleague's voice buzzed through my phone. Bella, did you hear what happened to Alex today? I set my mug down, curiosity mixing with a strange calm. No, what? He completely messed up the Johnson deal. Front of the board. Everyone saw it. It was catastrophic. I felt a flicker of something I couldn't quite name. Satisfaction? Relief? Not joy exactly, but quiet acknowledgement that consequences had arrived. Later, Ethan stopped by my office. You heard about Alex? Yes, I said softly. I did. Karma's poetic, isn't it? Ethan chuckled. It is. And I'm glad you're not celebrating. That's mature. I'm just observing, I said, trying to untangle the swirl of emotions. He made choices, and now he faces them. That's enough. A few days later, I saw Sophia at a networking event. She looked uncomfortable, glancing around nervously. Hey, Sophia, I said softly. She jumped, startled. Bella, hi. It's fine, I interrupted, keeping my voice calm. I just hope you learned from everything. That manipulation and lies don't last forever. Her eyes flickered with guilt. I didn't mean for things to go this way. You didn't think either, I said, voice steady. And now you see what choices bring. Later, I ran into Carla. She smiled, tight-lipped, her usual smugness faltering. Bella, she said, forcing a casual tone. I see things haven't gone as planned. I looked her in the eye. It seems your scheme's backfired. Funny how that works, isn't it? She didn't reply, just walked away, and I felt a quiet satisfaction settled over me. No need to gloat. The universe had done it for me. At work, I continued my own projects, listening to colleagues whisper about Alex's downfall. He's losing clients. Sophia left. His team is in chaos. I took it in chest tight, but composed. I didn't feel glee, only the relief that justice, slow and deliberate, had taken its course. Ethan noticed my expression. You're handling this so well, he said. You could easily gloat, but you don't. That's strength. I've learned, I admitted. Revenge feels empty when it's forced. Watching him face reality, that's enough. Closure doesn't need drama. Even Olivia's texts reflected the same sentiment. Quiet triumph suits you. You've risen above. By the end of the week, Alex's personal life mirrored his professional collapse. Sophia left him publicly, and Carla's manipulations exposed her own involvement. His arrogance and carelessness had isolated him completely. I watched from a distance, not with glee, but with acknowledgement. Life had a way of balancing itself. And in that balance, I found my own peace. Bella, Ethan said, smiling gently, you're finally free from it all. You're stronger than anyone now. I nodded, letting the words sink in. I am, I whispered. And now, I can move forward without bitterness, without looking back. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt closure, not loud, not triumphant, just serene. Poetic justice had arrived, and I didn't have to lift a finger to claim it. I sipped my coffee, letting the city's hum surround me. The past was behind me. The present was mine. And the future, well, it was brighter than I'd ever imagined. I sat on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker like distant stars. The journey from Heartbreak to this moment had been long, painful, and strangely beautiful. Ethan appeared quietly behind me. "You're always lost in thought," he said softly. "I suppose I am," I admitted, smiling faintly. "There's a lot to reflect on." He leaned against the railing beside me. "I can imagine. You've been through so much. And yet, here you are stronger than ever." I looked at him, meeting his eyes. "It's been hard, but I've learned more about myself than I ever thought I would. Pain has a way of teaching you lessons you can't ignore." "I've noticed," Ethan said, a subtle warmth in his voice. "You're confident, independent, resilient." "I've had to be," I said. "After Alex, after Carla, after everything, I had no choice but to rise." He chuckled softly. "And rise you did. I'm proud of you, Bella. Truly." I felt a blush creep across my cheeks.
"Thank you, Ethan."
"Your support, it made a difference. Quiet, steady, always there without ever pushing." "That's because you deserved it," he said simply. "You've earned your peace. You've earned your happiness." I leaned back, letting the cool breeze brush my face.
"Peace, yes."
"I've realized it doesn't come from revenge or proving anyone wrong. It comes from within, from knowing you're enough on your own." Ethan smiled, watching me closely. "And yet you still make room for connections that matter. That's beautiful." I laughed softly. "I suppose. It's strange, isn't it? I once thought love would break me. Now, I see it can heal, when it's real, when it's not tangled with betrayal." He nodded, a flicker of something unspoken in his eyes. "Maybe one day, Bella, when the timing is right." I felt a warmth spread in my chest, understanding his subtle words. I didn't need to rush. I was whole first, then perhaps more. I took a deep breath, reflecting on how far I had come. Alex, once a storm in my life, was now a shadow of the man he thought he was. Karma had its way, and I had witnessed it without bitterness, without gloating. Lessons had been learned. "I never imagined I'd feel this calm," I said, almost to myself. "To be free from the past entirely." "That calm suits you," Ethan said softly. "You've earned it every bit." I smiled, heart swelling with quiet triumph. "I've earned more than calm," I said. "I've earned myself. Independence. Confidence.
Strength.
And I finally see I am enough." He looked at me, eyes soft, full of unspoken admiration. "Bella, you've always been enough. Now everyone else can see it too." I laughed, light and free. "Maybe, but this time, I don't need anyone else's validation. Just mine." As the city shimmered beneath us, I realized I had reached the end of one journey and the beginning of another. One filled with self-respect, empowerment, and the quiet hope of love, if it ever came in the right way. For the first time in months, I felt whole, unshaken, victorious, not because I conquered someone else, but because I had conquered myself. And that was the greatest victory of all. That I sat at my desk, sunlight spilling across the papers and plans that marked my progress. Every project, every meeting, every late night had brought me here, reborn in a way I hadn't thought possible. Olivia's voice came through my phone, cheerful as ever. "Bella, you did it. I knew you would. Look at you, unstoppable." I laughed softly. "Thanks, Olivia. I couldn't have gotten here without your reminders to keep my head up." "You've outgrown the girl who cried over Alex," she said. "The world better watch out now." I smiled, feeling warmth in my chest. "I've learned a lot. Betrayal hurt, yes, but it taught me to be stronger, smarter, and more patient with myself." "And now," she asked, curiosity in her tone. "Now I move forward," I said. "Professionally, emotionally, spiritually. I'm in control of my life. No one can pull me down again." Ethan appeared at my office doorway, casual but thoughtful. "Talking to Olivia?" "Always," I replied with a grin. "Celebrating victories." He leaned against the frame, watching me. "And rightly so. You've earned every bit of it." I met his eyes. "I feel different, Ethan. Confident, lighter. It's like I finally understand who I am without all the noise of betrayal. He smiled softly, quiet and steady. I've noticed. And if you'll let me, I'd like to be part of this next chapter with you. No pressure, just presence. I felt a flutter, not the chaotic kind that once tied me to Alex, but a gentle warmth. I'd like that, I admitted. Slowly, carefully, just like everything else I've rebuilt. He nodded, understanding. That's perfect. One step at a time. Later, I glanced out the window, thinking about the past, the heartbreak, the lies, the moments I wanted to forget. They were still there, but they didn't weigh me down. Instead, they were the foundation of who I had become. I whispered to myself, betrayal didn't destroy me. It shaped me. I'm stronger than I realized, braver than I thought possible. Olivia's text pinged again. You're shining, Bella. Truly shining. I smiled, holding my phone close for a moment. I am, I whispered. And this time, it's real. No illusions, no false hopes. Just me and the life I choose. Ethan tapped my shoulder gently. Ready to leave the office? I packed my things slowly, savoring the sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Ready for what's next. Whatever comes, I can face it. He offered his arm, and I took it, feeling a quiet happiness in the simple connection. Not dependent, not desperate, just shared. As we walked out together, the city stretching before us, I realized how far I had come. The storms of betrayal, heartbreak, and doubt had passed, leaving me whole, resilient, and ready. I breathed in the evening air, letting it fill me with possibility. Life had been harsh, but it had taught me lessons I would carry forever. And now I moved forward, not defined by anyone else, but by my choices, my strength, and the hope I felt in my own heart. The past was behind me. The future awaited. And I was ready. A few months had passed, and life felt lighter. I walked through the city park, the crisp air carrying the scent of autumn. My career was thriving, my projects recognized, and I felt an independence I hadn't known before. Bella. A familiar voice called, hesitant. I turned and froze. Alex. He looked different, humbled, quieter. The arrogance that once defined him was gone, replaced by a cautious, almost remorseful expression. Alex, I said simply, keeping my tone neutral. I wanted to say I'm sorry, he began. I see now how I treated you, and I've lost more than I realized. I studied him for a moment. The old storm of emotions, the anger, heartbreak, tried to rise. But I stopped it. I had grown too much, learned too much. I hope you've learned, Alex, I said softly. Life has a way of teaching lessons, sometimes the hard way. He nodded, eyes downcast. I have. And I regret everything. I took a deep breath, glancing at the leaves falling around us. I forgive you, I said finally. Not because I want to go back, but because I need peace. And I've found it. You just need to find your own. He looked up, a mixture of relief and sadness in his eyes. Thank you, Bella. Truly. As he walked away, I felt an unexpected calm. The past no longer weighed on me. The memories, the betrayal, the heartbreak, were threads in the tapestry of who I had become, not chains holding me back. A small envelope slipped from my bag, Olivia's handwriting. I opened it, smiling. Inside was a note. Look at you, unstoppable. Every step forward proves your strength. I held it close, a symbolic reminder of my journey. Pain had transformed into power, heartbreak into wisdom, and despair into hope. Ethan's text pinged. Coffee later? I want to hear about your day. I smiled, typing back. Absolutely. See you soon. Walking forward, I realized that growth wasn't just about success. It was about resilience, independence, and the ability to remain kind, even to those who hurt you. The city lights reflected off the pavement, and I felt a warmth I hadn't in years. I had moved through heartbreak, betrayal, and lessons learned, and now I stood fully reborn, stronger, wiser, and free. Looking over my shoulder one last time, I smiled softly. Life had come full circle. The girl who once cried, broken and lost, was gone. In her place stood someone unstoppable, someone ready for all the joy, challenges, and love that the future held. And this time, I was truly, entirely mine.